This is the Waterford Historical Society Oral History Project interview of Willard Powers on November 3rd, 2016 at Willard's home on High Ridge Road. The interviewers are Dave Morrison, Donna Heath, and Lynn Troy.
Well, thanks for agreeing to do this, Will. We've got this little sheet of questions here. I guess we start with your date of birth and where you were born.
I was born in Littleton, New Hampshire, June the 19th in 1925 at an early age.
At a very early age.
Yeah.
Were you born in Littleton Hospital or
Yeah.
at a private home?
Yeah, at the hospital.
Yeah.
So they tell me.
So they tell you. Your memory of that day was kind of
A
foggy.
little bit. I said, yeah, I think just myself and the doctor and the nurse was in the room. Yeah, by the way, I think my mother was too.
So you were kind of midway in a family of 7.
Yeah.
Were you the youngest boy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Russell was one day lacking a day of being a year older than I am.
And Leland was older than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Thelma and Geneva and Thelma were older.
Not Thelma, Theresa.
Theresa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Those 2 girls were older than Leland,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you, and then you had 2 more girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, tell us about growing up in a house full of 7 kids.
Oh, I guess we used to scrap a little bit. I remember my sister pushed me once and I hit my head on the corner of a dresser and they had to take me to the doctor, and it seemed though he dumped some iodine there. That was worse than a hit, I guess. I remember my brother and I was playing down there at brook, making a little dam, and he fell in, and I stood there and watched him. Why don't you help me?
You didn't push it.
No, I didn't push it. But we went home, Mother cleaned us up and put on some clean clothes, but stayed away from the brook.
So you probably helped your father a lot on the farm as a kid?
Oh, yeah. I remember one of them little 5-quart lard pails we started milking cows in. Yeah.
By hand?
By hand, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But when we got older, Dad gave us allowance, and we saved our money, and we was going to buy some milking machines. But my dad, when he knew it was real serious, he went with us and he bought them. So we didn't have to spend our money.
So what was it? Were they Surge or De La Valle back then, or was there another name that was common?
Perfection. Perina sold them on Railroad Street, and they were Perfection. They had to be Perfection to run.
So did you run it off a tractor at that
No,
point?
we had a little gasoline engine, and
Or
we
a
used
generator?
to run
Or
just run the pump,
Oh,
the
a
vacuum
vacuum
pump.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when did they get electricity at the farm?
Well, just as the war was starting, it was up to Leo's, Williams's, which is Wilmot now.
Right.
And Dad went to see the county agent about getting electricity. Well, he went to the power company first, and they gave him a runaround. And so he said he went to see Mr. Blow. He was head of the what do you call it? Help the farmers anyway in St. John's. And so he told him to go back and see the power company. And he said, if they don't do something, we will. So he went down to see him, and they still gave him the runaround. He said, well, they told me to come back and see them and they'd do something. Well, they was right up there Monday morning surveying.
And about what year would that have been?
Well, 40. The war started about 40. Was it 40?
Okay, it's Second World War.
Second World War. Yeah, right around there anyway.
Okay, yeah, that kind of fits with what Mother used to mention. It was up on the hill, as we call
Yeah.
this area.
That one over
40s.
to the Fitchett, I used to call the Fitchett places, Mrs. Earls down there now, and over to our place. That's as far as it went then. Yeah.
Do you know how much earlier power was down in the village prior to it coming up here?
No, I don't remember anything about it down there.
Yeah. Did anybody have telephone, even though they didn't have?
Oh yeah, we had telephone.
So telephone preceded.
Oh yeah, quite a
Power.
while before that. Yeah. Up a little? Okay.
No, you talked about the phone having a...
Oh, yeah, the phones. There's 3 or 4 parties. If you picked up the phone, someone might be talking. As my brother-in-law say, that's why we get all the gossip. We had a 4-party line, and our ring was too long and too short. To crank it, you had to crank it then. Yeah.
And you could listen in.
Yeah, and us boys, we used a slingshot. Them glasses was quite nice to look at. Some of them disappeared.
Oh, this is the insulators on the...
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You naughty boy.
I know.
I'm guessing that your folks heated the family home there with wood, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a wood furnace as long as I could remember, and you could put in a fence post probably about 6 feet long, and there was an inch pipe around the full length of it and back again, and that went out to keep the water tub from freezing for the cattle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had to lug wood, or did the...
Oh, we used to fill the woodshed. Yeah. Your dad used to go around with a saw rig. Dad might go over to Williams and get it, bring it over there, and then whoever wanted it from there would come with their team of horses and take it. And that was a drag saw.
Yeah, I remember the drag saw. That was in the
Well,
barn
back
down
and
there
forth
when I
like-
was a kid.
Yeah.
To harvest the wood?
Well,
To cut it up. We'd drag it out the trees, cut off log, get a good log pile out, and we'd hire outfits to come around.
You want to haul that? Want to grab that, Will? And any particular memories of your other siblings?
Well, not especially, I can't think of right now. We used to have a few ponies we used to ride sometimes. The girls used to like to ride the ponies. We used to have a little one that we sugared, hitch on a little sled, and we'd tie a milk can on it, and Dad would tap a few trees, and we'd go out and gather the sap with the little pony. Sometime he'd run home on us, and Dad set up some stones and put a pan on it, and we used to sugar there. But one day my oldest brother and I decided we'd go out and sugar ourselves. So we got the fire going good. Then we thought of going squirrel hunting. Well, it kind of got, sap got kind of low, and we burnt the pan up. Then, later on, when the power company was selling and giving away the houses, we tore down 2 L's on the houses. One of them, we built a sugar house, Dad's sugar house down to Keith out of it. And the other one, we built Dad's, Keith's garage over there with that.
Okay, I was going to ask you how long that sugar house...
Yeah, that was
your
back
dad's
in...
sugar house. So that wasn't there forever.
Oh, no.
You built that as,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
a family.
Yeah, big timbers,
Ah.
huge timbers. Yeah.
Well, tell us a little about school. I know you went down here at the end of the road. Did you go all 8 grades at the
Oh, yeah.
Wood School?
Yeah, I think it was just 8 or 10 of us last year. And I said that I was the smartest boy that graduated. I happened to be the only one. Several girls.
Yeah, I think when Mother closed that school, it was down to 4. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah,
it was-
right at the end of this road down here.
Yeah, there's still some cement blocks that were part of the foundation on Vinton's
Oh, yeah.
land there. I think they're probably under that pile of wood right now.
And when I was in the 8th grade, I got the job to do the janitor work. So I walked to school about 7 o'clock in the morning and built a fire. And while I was waiting for the fire to get going, I'd open the window and put some bread or something in my hand and feed the chickadees. Then I'd walk down to Frank Roberts lived there, one of the last ones, and I'd get a bucket of water and put it in one of these crock things here at the school to get water out of it. Then I'd sweep the floor at night, and I did that, 35 or 6 weeks, and I got $1 a week. And I saved it. I bought my Elgin bicycle from Sears, came in a crate, and Dad had to screw the pedals on, put the handlebar on, then I bought myself Dad went with me in the Sears and Roebuck, which had a store right there on the corner of the Avenue and Railroad Street. And I bought me a 22 pump. And I've still got that. You can't be sure when you shoot it. Sometimes it'll go out, sometimes it won't. But I've still got it. I think my old bicycle's up here in the woods somewhere.
So who else was in school? The Powerses and the Wrights, some of the Wrights would have been
Yeah,
here.
Alice Wright and Thelma Wright and Wayne Wright. And let's see, who else was? Oh, Leon. Yeah, I can't think of it.
Mother had a story on you and Wayne. I guess
Oh.
Wayne was a little mischievous with matches, and
Yeah, I took him away from him, I guess.
you take him away and strike him so that
Yeah.
he couldn't start a fire with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, one day I thought I was smart, so I just, they had the thermometer on us. So, why are you going to the door? So I just held a match on it, went, I moved it. And I did it again that time. It broke. It run right out the
Pop
bottom.
right off,
It run right out the bottom.
huh? So
I don't tell my grandkids these stories.
what year did you graduate from the 8th grade? Would that have been 44?
I think so. I don't remember dates at all.
Oh, okay. You just remember what happened.
I
while
just
you were there.
remember when they tell me I was born.
Yeah. Interestingly, George did the same thing at the village school that you were
Yeah.
just telling about.
Yeah.
He'd go up and build a fire and get the water from one of the houses in the village.
I heard the story about somebody, I don't know if they're doing the janitor work, but you know, the inkwells, they had an inkwell up on the right side of the desk, and they'd freeze up, so they put up, some of them put them on the stove to warm up, and one of them didn't loosen the cork, I guess, and blew right up the cellar.
Being located where you were, did some of your life include Upper Waterford? I mean, the church or social activities, or did
Yeah, we went to the Waterford Church back then, yeah.
the
And
Upper Waterford Church?
No, the Lower Waterford Church.
Oh, okay. That's
No,
right.
I don't remember ever going to the one up. I know they used to have weddings in it after. That was the last building that stand down there. And your dad told about going to somewhere over towards Littleton to work, and it was on fire early in the morning. Yeah.
But did any of, did you have friends, playmates down in Upper Waterford that you?
Not.
That wasn't all that far down there.
Yeah. What's the Uncle Robert and Carlisle. Yeah, we
Oh,
used
down
to
at the
play with
village.
them.
Yeah, but I mean in Upper Waterford.
Oh.
Did-
Oh, John Hassey had what was his name? Had a grandson that lived with him, and I remember they invited me down to play with him. One day we was running around the woods. I went to climb over a fence, and I was almost on top of a great big bee's nest, but I didn't get stung. But I know they had me stay for lunch, and I think it was milk gravy, and I hated milk gravy, but I ate it anyway.
So the farming life that you started out there turned into your own life too. You've
Yeah.
been a farmer all your life.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, we bought this farm from the Grofton Paper Company. The guy bought it from the Bean brothers that lived here. There's two twins and an older man. And the twins, I think, married sisters. My dad said they moved here when they were about 21. And
This farm here.
yeah, right here. And your father told me how that his grandfather used to walk down from Canada and work here in the summer, then walk back in the fall. That was your great-grandfather.
right. I don't know which. Both sides of the family were right there together.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause, they were Grandpa and Grammy were cousins, so the grandfathers
Yeah.
were brothers.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that. Well, let me skip ahead to Lina. Can I guess you met her at the church down in the village, or
Yeah,
or at
we was,
school, or?
we was taking them to school, and boys would kid me about bringing my girlfriend. I said, she's not my girlfriend, she's just one of the neighbors. Yeah.
So when you and Lina got married, where did you first live?
When we lived with the folks till we got the place down there where the John and Roberta live, you know.
Yeah, well, a lot of us call that the Gilbert Place.
Yeah,
You
yeah, I
lived there
do too.
They lived there a long time.
Yeah, I bought it from Leon Johnson, and that envelope right there has a picture of the three Johnson boys, their father. Shows them with their mowing machines.
Okay, maybe Donna can take
Yeah, he can.
pictures of them later.
Yeah.
So how long did you live with your folks before you were able to buy that place?
Oh, we bought that before. Lila and I bought that when we were about 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was where?
Kimball.
At the Four Corners, you go towards the picnic area. And, well, it's the first place on the right now. Well, there's a new place in the field, but first old farm on the right.
On what road?
Old County South.
Okay.
That was a picture of your Clara.
Yeah, we'll look at those in a minute. So you lived with your folks a short while. And
Yeah.
you-
Then Geneva helped us paper and paint down to Gilbert Place. Then we moved in there.
Yeah, that's my earliest memories of you down
Yeah.
there. Yeah, there was a lot of fixing up to do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Dad was building a house, and you were fixing one up.
Yeah,
Fred was building one.
right.
Yeah. So what year did you come up here?
I
Somewhere
think,
in the 50s, but
yeah, I
don't
think
remember
it's
the year
54, around 54. I think.
before.
Cindy mentioned the other day that in December I've lived here 60 years. Yeah. They've changed my address 3 times.
You haven't moved. They
No.
changed your address.
Right.
Star Route and
Yeah.
RFD and
I've got a little calendar hanging up there. It says 1909. It's a pretty little picture. Ethan found it up in the cupboard here. So I said, let's hang it up here. Get some antiques out here.
oh, every few years the days are coming
Yeah.
the right order. Kind of skip this question. Did you have grandparents around and alive when you were small?
Yeah, my grandfather Powers, he lived with the folks, I don't know, off and on. Yeah. Then he lived up in the home in Red Village, and then my uncle kept him a while there with him, so he moved around some. Yeah.
How about on Eva's side?
Oh, I remember I remember going up there one day and sitting in my dad's lap, because I was afraid of him. He had a beard way down here.
Your grandfather did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And my other grandfather, that was my mother's father, and he wore a mustache most of his life, I guess. Yeah,
Now that would be Paige.
yeah,
Yeah.
the one that had the long beard.
Right, that
That's
was
Page.
Paige.
Rockman Page. Yeah.
What was the first name of your
Frank.
Glenn's father?
Frank.
Frank.
Yeah.
Frank Powers. Okay. Well, you raised a family.
Yeah.
I know all about it, but you can tell us.
Yeah. Larry
For
was
the historical group.
the oldest boy, and then Paul and Cindy, and we lost a little girl, about 2 years old. And Becky, oh yeah. Yeah, Becky was here for about 5 weeks, and things that shifted around, so I don't know why everything is anymore.
She reorganized your house.
Yeah. Yeah, she was here 5 weeks this summer.
I'm sorry I didn't get to see her. So you went to St. J Academy or trade?
Trade school.
You went to the trade.
Up to Uncle Sam said, you stay home, work on the farm, or you come and work for us. So Dad needed the help, so we stayed home.
So did you go all 4 years at trade?
No, I didn't go back and finish. I didn't go back. That was in my 3rd year, starting my 3rd year.
Oh, so they took you, they were going to take you out of high school to be in
Yeah,
service.
yeah, you had to work here or go and get shot at. So I said, I'd rather stay home doing my own shooting.
Was the trade school at the academy, the St. John's Word Academy?
No, it's down where it is now, but they've changed it now, and they've added on to it. When we started, it was a big square building down by Fairbanks. And we had to go in through their gate while all their employees come in to get to the trade school there.
Yeah,
It was
for
too-
for years the trade school was what is now the elementary on Western Avenue.
Yeah.
So how many years did you finally complete there before Uncle Sam?
Yeah, I was just starting the 4th year.
Oh, okay, so you were 3+.
The mechanical part of it was down on Railroad Street where people went to start do on the work.
So what did you kind of specialize in?
I took electrical, yeah, but we never get out. We went and wired up some machines over on where the town garage is over across the river there. That's about all we did. But I've done quite a lot around home and
Yeah, that's why you could always make anything run.
yeah, right. Yeah.
Old tractors or old trucks.
Yeah, they was easier to work on back then.
How did you decide on the academy as opposed to Littleton?
No,
Okay.
well, we
Just
wanted
like
to go
Fred
to
went
trade
to
school.
Littleton.
Yeah, we wanted to go to trade
You
school
wanted to
and
go to
learn
trade.
something about some skill. Some had did carpenter work, some did mechanical work.
How did the farming practices change over the years?
Well, boy, they've really changed. We used to, at home, we used to pitch on hay by hand with a pitchfork. Because I remember once, it was my turn to drive a truck. We'd rake the windrows and we'd tumble the hay. And it was easy to handle if it sat overnight in the tumbles. And we'd take turns driving from one stack to another. And it was my turn to drive. And we had pretty good load on then, but I let the clutch out too quick, and most of the hay was sitting right behind the truck. But they let me drive it again after that.
And so how did you bail it, so to speak?
Oh, we just had a horse rake. We'd ride the horse rake, and when we'd get a big rakeful, we'd step on this lever, we'd trip it, and we'd go up and when it got it filled again, and we pitched it all on by hand then. And then later on, when we got real modern, we bought a hay loader. You hitch that behind the truck, but you had to put a sheet of metal under your drive shaft, driving over you'd wind up so tight that it would stop the truck or catch on fire or something.
Yeah, I remember a hay loader down at your first place there.
Yeah, that was quite an invention for us.
They were. I
Yeah.
see one out in the field rusting away once in a while, driving around the back road.
Yeah, we had a metal one, but some people had the wooden ones. They were a lot lighter. Because I remember once at Halloween, Milo had one over there on his farm, and I suppose went over and laid it down on its back for him. We didn't hurt it, just a prank.
A Halloween prank, I see.
Right. Good thing Milo didn't catch us, though. He almost stepped on one of the kids out there, because Milo would beat him up to death, probably.
When did baled hay come in?
Oh, I remember Rollo Wright had a cousin up Lunenburg that come out with a small bales, the one on about this big around. And Dad had, he come over to do something for Rollo Wright, and that's the one Rollo got hung up and lost his arm, you remember?
I do remember.
And Dad had him bail some for us. Yeah.
And George mentioned he used to bail up on the hill.
Yeah, he was bailed. Yeah,
Clarence
he
and
bailed
Deal.
up here. Yeah.
Yeah. About what year was the square bail up effective, I guess?
What year?
Yeah.
We
50s or?
bought our first baler from McLaren, Dunk McLaren down there. No, I guess that one. Yes, we bought International Bale. That's the one that ate my toes off. down to Cliff James down in Wells River. Yeah.
That's where you bought it, or where that's
Yeah.
where you lost your toes?
No, that's
You lost your toes up in Kirby, didn't you?
no, right down here above Don Baxter's right on that.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it's on this side of the stone wall almost fits.
Yeah, Willard had a disagreement with the baler one day and lost the front half of one foot.
But I said one consolation, I've never had an ingrown toenail since.
Was your father one to kind of take the lead with modern machinery, or?
Yeah, I think so, because we bought our first tractor from Dudley Hall over in Monroe, New Hampshire. It was a F-20 Famal. And my brother was plowing up here. I think that was in October, down here below Y. Kevin's field on that side hill. And he went over a ledge, and it one wheel dropped down, and when it did, it started rising on the other side. So he jumped off, and the tractor rolled down the hill a couple of times and come onto its feet and kept right on going.
And also milking, he was talking about that, right? The changes from
the
hand milking to
hand milking to
machines.
vacuum milking.
Yeah.
So how many cattle did your father have before and after? Because once you went vacuum, you could...
Yeah, we had 40, 45, I think, mostly down there.
What kind of cows?
Oh, Guernseys and Jerseys and some Holstein. I think most of them was Guernseys, because a guy Dad used to buy grain from, he had Guernsey cows, and when we started farming up here, we got this herd of Holstein, and I remember the guy said, "You just keep them for fire protection, don't you? Because the Holstein's milk is so rich as the Guernseys and the Jerseys." But somebody said there isn't too much difference, because you throw a quarter in Holstein milk, you can still see it. And you use Jerseys, and you can't hardly cover it up. So.
Well, when did the change in the milk market come about that they became less interested in butterfat? Because that's why you had Jerseys.
Yeah.
Because of rich milk, and then all of a sudden it was gallons, not richness, it was important. When did that?
I don't remember just when that was. Middle 70s or so, probably.
70s, yeah. It was quite a change, though.
Oh, yeah. You get $2 a gallon for 100 pounds or something like that.
$2 a hundredweight?
Yeah, I remember during the 30s there, during the Depression, we couldn't even sell milk. We'd separate it, and we'd take the cream up to a neighbor, to the Jocelyn place, just over the Concord line, and she'd make us cheese, probably 6, 8 inches thick, 6 probably, and probably 15 inches across. We ate a lot of cheese. And we fed the skim milk to the pigs. Then you had job to get your money back from the pigs.
That was one of the questions. It was about the Depression years. Other memories of difficult times?
I remember Dad used to have to wait a while sometimes to get the car registered. Didn't have money enough. Yeah. And then he lost 2 herds of cattle with TB, and he didn't give them about $20 a piece. The government paid for them, I guess. But then they began to inoculate them so they wouldn't get TB. I remember when I first started down at Kimball's, I had one that was tested with TB. And I remember when the vet, he took a branding iron and branded a big B right on the cheek so you couldn't sell it. Be sure you wouldn't sell it to somebody else.
Yeah, how many head did you milk down there?
Oh, about 15, I think it was.
You had vacuum down there.
Yeah, I had a vacuum.
You had power down there by then.
Oh, yeah. Roland and I, we had a generator. I had a small one, he had a big one. But we got sick of working on them, and I think we paid the power company $700 to get power down to Audrey's place.
Down to the corner.
Yeah, and we got so much credited to our bill that we got back, but we had to fork up the money first.
$700 part of
it cost you $10,000 or better to get power down there now. Yeah.
Now, what about the hurricane of '38? Where
we slept right through that. We didn't have all these turn on TV and get the weather all the time. I remember we woke up and my little hen house was turned halfway around. A few sheets of roofing left off the barn. And us kids walked to school. We had to climb over trees and climb under trees to get there. And it was an awful mess. I remember we used to go deer hunting, and some places you couldn't get through, you'd have to go around. We never knew a thing about it. My mother was down to the village up Waterford to help delivering a child, one of the priest's children, Fred Priest's daughter, one of them.
Was your father able to salvage timber from whatever was blown down on?
Yeah, we got logged out. That's when he was limbing a tree, and the limb switched the axe, so he cut that bone off on his foot there, and every time he walked, it would squirt up in the air. Now, we had a car down there, and he jumped on the car and held on to, that's when the headlights was on the fender, and you could sit on near the headlights and hang on. And he drove home and called Dr. Colburn. Colburn said, "Well, come right over." No, Dad said, "You come over here." So he did. He came over and fixed him up.
Cut his foot pretty bad?
Yeah, cut that big bone off on the top of your foot. Yeah, they say farming logging's two of the most dangerous jobs.
Yeah, I'll tell a little bit about your partnership up here.
Yeah, I can't remember just what year it was, but this place was empty at the time. And Gilbert got hold of us, and we bought this place, and it was 400 acres. And Gilbert's place, I think, is 175. We ended up with almost 1,000 acres. We bought this place up here for 400 acres for $4,500 at $100. But there's no bathroom in it. No water. Here in the kitchen had a board on the wall about 8 inches wide, and lead pipe come up and bent over, they had it round and it come up down on the other side with a faucet. And up on top, they had a match, a hole with a match. And if you wanted the water, you took that match out. Otherwise, it would siphon down to the bath.
Raymond had that similar setup. I remember his kitchen down there.
And our bathroom was out back. It's like the guy said, you took a flashlight with it, and if you didn't be careful where you put it, you'd lose it.
So what exactly did the match do?
That let air in, so that otherwise it would siphon right by. And with that letting air in, it would let the water come through the faucet.
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting loop. A lot of the old farmhouses were like that.
Yeah. I've still got the 5/8-inch lead pipe coming from my spring up here. But Lawson was over and did all my plumbing over, most of it. I've got to have a Paul just put on some new faucets here the other day, but Lawson took samples of it, lead, and you'd have to dig with a jackknife to get down to the lead, because it's all crusted over. So I've been drinking it for 60 years. Once in a while somebody will bother their stomach, but don't bother mine.
Yeah, there was a lot of old lead pipe around. The first pipe they put in, I guess.
Now the copper, you can't use copper anymore now. One day I went down south and I filled this little mist, and there's a pinhole. So I had lost them and changed it all. And I had him come over because the one got leaking upstairs, and we had to replace about a dozen squares in the bedroom because it leaked in on that. But the plumbing's a lot easier to do now than it used to be.
So what do you have now, plastic?
Yeah, it's just new modern stuff. Yeah, you can just bend it around.
So were you pretty active in the church down in Lower Waterford when you were young? Or?
Well, not too much then. No, your dad was in charge of the Sunday school and stuff.
Because it was closed when you were first born, but
Yeah.
by the time you got 10 or 11, it reopened.
2 men went to Providence Bible Institute, and when they graduated, one of them came up opening closed churches. So he got his buddy to come up and be the first pastor here.
Yeah, that would be Bill Berry and
Bill
Robert
Berry
Barr.
and Robert Barr went to Africa. I think he was there 40 years, and he'd come back. They didn't come back every year like they do now. Be 4 years. He never came back during the war. And when he did come back, he had a Lions hide, that he said he took his hunting rifle, a .303 rifle, with him, and the Indians, the natives, was having trouble with the lions killing their cattle, so he felt he should go out and help them, but all he had was that one shell left. Said he prayed about it and felt that he should go out, so he said the natives walk ahead of him with their spears. He said this one was coming right through the air. He said I didn't shoot it. He said the Lord shot it right between the eyes. And he had to hide to prove it.
Good story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Robert Barr. In fact, his son was in the area just a few years ago and looked me up. And
yeah, I remember seeing Bob carrying George on his shoulders. That's how small George was.
Yeah. Well, that Bilberry was Dad's best man.
Yeah, oh yeah. He ran a boat from island to island up in Maine, didn't he?
The Maine Seacoast Mission or something like that?
Yeah. Because he said anybody that swore on it, they'd take him and wash his mouth out with soap and water.
Soap and salt water.
Yeah, something like that.
You girls have questions you'd like to fly Willard with?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about some of the pictures, but let's hang on for a sec. So what's this one again here?
This is a picture of us, my mother and a couple of us out there turning this churn, making butter.
That's right, Geneva told us about that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. And who are these people?
I think that's me there, and I think that's Leland, my oldest brother, and this is my mother.
Okay.
Yeah. On Sundays, lots of time we'd make ice cream. We had a freezer that you cranked and held 6 quarts. Well, us kids liked to be around there when they took the float out. I would grab a spoon and clean the float out. But usually we did that on the Sundays.
Lots of dairy things, huh?
Yeah. And this is a picture of the 3 men. The Johnsons lived down. We bought the farm of Leland, and I bought it off Leon Johnson. And this is his brother, and I don't know who the middle one is, but in front. But that's his father and there's 2 brothers and the father there. Leon Johnson lived down in the village, but he had this farm and he rented it.
Is this on that? Yeah.
And this picture here is a picture of those 3 men with their mowing machines, hand size.
Yeah, Dad called that the misery walk.
Yeah, somebody said they always look better hanging up. But Clarence Young, when he was pretty near 100, you'd see him out there on his lawn mowing the side hill with his hand sigh.
Yeah, the old farmers used to want to keep the walls clean. And
Yeah.
Raymond and Ernest Powers did kind of the same thing.
Yeah, and Frank Moore used to help mow the roadsides up through it.
I never thought about what they had for a bridge down to McIndoe's, but there was a wooden covered bridge down there.
Right.
So this picture here is on the back side of your folks' house where the driveway looped around and come down the other side.
And who is that?
That's me.
Oh, all right. Let's get you here.
They had after we tore that hen house down, Dad built a tool shed there, headed right the same way, and we got a south wind, east wind, and it rolled that tool shed right over backwards. That used to be what this hen house is. You see that hen house has steps on the lower end? I remember going in there to collect eggs one day, and I took my hat off to put the eggs in, and I tripped and fell down them steps there. I didn't have many eggs to take in the house, but my hat needed washing.
What about these 2 here? You have a carriage and then a car.
Yeah, this just shows the transportation that we used to use back then. But we saw more cars then, but it's always a few. I remember going to school down here one day, and old Rob McQueen come over through with a pair of oxen, come up here to Watson's place, down the Fitchett place, and plow up a little field for his garden or something.
Now you mentioned Fitchett in connection with what was Mrs. Earls House.
Yeah.
Same family.
Yeah.
they were there before they came up to.
Well, yeah, just John and Vida lived down here, and they had Steve and Wesley Fitchett.
Right.
And Steve was up here last winter, last spring. Anyway, he said, could I go and look at the living room? I said, sure, go ahead upstairs too. Because his mother worked up here, and after her husband died, and so they was up here a lot with their grandmother.
They probably worked for the Beans, or.
Yeah, she worked for the Beans. Al Fitchett, Watson was the name. Yeah.
Yeah, Fred mentioned Fitchett yesterday, or 2 days ago, and I forgot to follow up on it.
Vida married John Fitchett.
Right, but John must have had brothers and sisters down on the other place?
He had twin brothers, Herbert and Elbert, and they lived down at Rugade or somewhere. And they was cutting ice, filling ice bins, you know. And they was going to celebrate the twins' birthday. And one of them was working on the ice, and he got run over. They had to put chains on, take them off. And someone said, go ahead. And he was taking chains off. And they was going to celebrate their 21st birthday in just a few days. And John Fitchett, an older one, was the one that married Vida Watson down here. That's why her name was Fitchett. We went and saw John over to Johnson when he was getting older. He didn't know who we were then.
Right. The day you mentioned Steve being up here, I was out walking over near the Four Corners, and he stopped visiting with me for quite a while.
Oh, he did? Yeah.
Yeah, I see him quite often.
Oh, yeah.
Steve, Wesley's gone, but Steve.
Oh, yeah.
Steve still doing well. He's only a couple of years older than me. I see one of these pictures is it was in '38. Clara was your teacher then.
Right.
And, who else did you have for teachers, like prior to Clara?
Oh, let's see.
You had Mother and Clara, but.
Oh, Ruth Ramage, but I don't think she was the best teacher. She let us have an hour and a half recess or something because she'd been out too late the night before. She was quite a wild, I guess. And I can't remember. Mrs. Ward was the one that filled in for us, I remember, at times. And I can't remember just who the others were. But our the superintendent guy lived up on Ohio Sewer Bridges over there going to Danville. I think he was 100 years old when he died.
Was it Dan Dyer?
Yeah, Dan Dyer, yeah.
Oh, really? Because he was superintendent when I was growing up. Yeah, he lived a long, nice life. He's a good guy.
Right, yeah. Yeah, mother worked under him for quite a while. I think she was on the school board 13 years.
Right.
When they built the new school, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Liner and Fred were on the board together when they did that. I remember going up to Lunenburg with Liner.
She had to go see a man that has, they used to come around in the fall and test the kids' eyes, and one of the visit child needed glasses, but they couldn't convince the dad that he needed them, so I think one of the teachers bought them for her, I guess. Yeah, we used to meet in the fall at one school, and they'd have a doctor there and examine our eyes and tell us what was good to eat and what wasn't good to eat, all this.
They were trying to do good health back then.
Right, yeah.
Salt pork on the list, was it?
I don't remember.
What about family gatherings or holidays? How did you celebrate?
Oh, we used to have Christmas trees, and I don't remember getting too many of the cousins together, but we had seven in our family, and that was that, I guess. Yeah, they buy practical things. I remember my dad bought us some snowshoes. We used to hunt rabbits and foxes, and so we had some old cobbled up one that was always breaking, so he got us all some new pair. And the winter, that was made us quite pleased. I know we used to buy Dad a little box of cigars or something, you know. So no. Yeah, and I remember the folks used to give us a little box or a bag of coconut. It was quite a treat for us back then too.
Would you have a typical turkey dinner type
Oh
of
yeah,
thing?
yeah.
With all the fixings?
Oh yeah. Yeah, the last year Larry was alive. Cindy then put on a regular, like what he used to like.
I think Ethan might pick up that line of entertaining.
Oh yeah.
With a nice new house over
Yeah.
there.
Ethan's a good cook too.
Right.
He lived right across from the Rabbit Hill, and he got a job there when he was 12, I think, in washing dishes. And when the cooks took him under his wing and taught him, and he worked there alone at breakfast sometimes. He went to New York on some competition they did with a guy too, and they had his name on the menu list there for the cooks.
Yeah.
So he keeps it up pretty good.
Yeah, wow.
It's good too because Emily works and he can have supper ready for her when he's home. He puts on a good meal. Yeah.
How about you? Do you cook?
No, I'm well, a lot of. I make donuts.
Willard's always made donuts.
Yeah, I made donuts. I said they're so famous. They even went to Honduras.
Wow.
The guy that's pastor a church over in St. Johnsbury there, Clifton boy, George's son, he went to Honduras, and a group of us went over to help fix a house up there he was going to be living in because he was moving. And his wife came up to me and said, Uncle Willard, Clifton's quite disappointed you didn't bring some donuts. But George and Linda went over a few months later, so I made sure I sent them some maple syrup, some donuts.
Do you make them still?
Yeah, but I don't cook them. I mix them up and we let them set and to cool. And I maybe do them in the morning. I sit there with apron on and roll them out and cut them out. And she puts them in the cooker on the stove. We usually make a double batch, about 60 donuts probably. We got to do that again here sometime.
This is the season, isn't it?
Yeah, they used to call and have them bring some over to the town meeting. And last year they didn't call. I guess they figured I was getting too old for that.
Well, town meeting's not what it used to be.
Oh no,
It's not much of a social occasion.
Oh no, we used to look forward to having a big dinner. But all the women are so busy working. A lot of them today. Most of them was homekeepers. Yeah.
Yeah, the ladies of the church used to put on a fine meal.
Yeah.
What about hobbies? Do you have any hobbies now, other than the donut making?
No, I like to put puzzles together. I just got one in there. I put together a puzzle, 300. I put it together last week. Cindy was gone, so I worked on that quite a bit. I got a 500 there. I got a stat, but I said I got to leave this one for a while to look at.
Well, we see you out riding around in your pickup a lot. I guess
Yeah.
cruising the neighborhood is kind of a hobby.
I get up and dream about going for a walk in the woods. I used to like being in the woods, but I don't. Dad go too far now.
The pickup will take you pretty deep.
Yeah. I go up the power line once in a while. In fact, I was going up there this summer. One of them osprey. Is it osprey? He was sitting in a tree and it had them covers from me. I thought there was a big bird, and he had only 15 inches long, about a 40-inch wingspan. But I've never been that close to one. I could almost spit on him, right in the bush right on that. You been up the power line in here? Oh, you can drive right up there.
Is this down Grist Mill and then
Yeah, go down
Grist Mill
here.
Pit Road and then up?
Yeah,
up
go
the power
down.
line?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know where it is. There's an old cemetery down there.
And on the corners, they've got flat poles, and on there's 3 poles, one right down here by the picnic area, right there you see it, and the osprey nest up there. Then up halfway there's another corner, and that's flat poles. And last year they had a nest on that, and just before you get down the Gristmill Road, there's another flat pole, and they had a nest on that. Yeah.
Oh, did you ever see the eagle's nests?
Well,
Be down here somewhere.
oh yeah. Yeah, we were down there a few years ago in Beckettsville, and one flew right over you went very high from us. And the other day, I'd been to town twice in a couple of weeks, And over across the Stiles Pond, I can see something white over there, and it must be a bald eagle. I don't know what else could be. You couldn't see anything in the morning there. But one day, earlier just before the ice went out, one of them dead trees right near the road, there's one sitting on that. Just like we went around the corner, you could see it. We drove right by it. And a guy that does our taxes said that he goes over there kayaking and fishing. He said there's 2 bald eagles. He said one of them follows me right along when I'm fishing. He told me too one day that he was, his son was up, and they went fishing down under the Memorial Bridge in town. He said his son went down around the corner out of sight. When he came back, he said, I saw a bobcat come out of a hole, went across the river and into a culvert. So his boy went over there, and he said he jumped back. Bobcat was sitting just inside the hole.
No kidding.
And they've seen a cougar up on Caledonia Street. And Kyle Houghton said they've seen one over on the Daniels Road. It's probably the same one. Yeah. And 3-4 years ago, my nephew, Glenn Ward, him and his wife lived in Connecticut, and they was looking for a house up here. They'd both retired. And so she called me one day and said, my realtor up there said she was just down on the Fitchett Road and she saw a wild pig. She said he had a long tusk and he looked pretty mean. Now out through there, there's a lot of swamp grass. The grass goes way high there. But I don't think a pig could survive up here in the wintertime. But Brian Fleming years ago said he saw 2 over in the pasture by Larry Wilson. He said they wouldn't believe him, but then he said he was hunting up back of George's up there. He said one would run over him if you hadn't shot at him. He was laying the leaves in November. But they are seeing them more often, just like in the law book, hunting law book, they've got it listed now. It's an endangered species. So that's admitting they are around.
This is the wild boar.
No, the cougars.
Oh, the cougars.
Because years ago, you remember when they built the road down to the cemetery? Russell had 2 red-bone dogs, and that's when they lived there in the Kimballs. And she was heading up there by the cemetery, and she thought it was Russell's dogs until he turned, looked at it, and they had a head like a cat, and he leaped up over the bank. And one day I was in St. Johnsbury. I went into McDonald's for a bite, and there's 4 game wardens sitting there talking, eating. So I spoke to them. They said that truck drivers see them up around Miles Pond, across the road up there. So. But they are admitting now they're around. They've got the wolf and the mountain lion and the marten and wolves that are protected.
You ever read John Harrigan's column in the Courier? Did you get the Courier?
No.
Yeah. He's always talking about cat sightings. It's
a
big part of his life. Donna, have you got some questions you'd like?
Yeah, Willard. I was wondering how many Powers farms were there up here or still here?
Well, just Powers and Leland's, where Keith is. Yeah.
Where Keith is?
Yeah, I was brought up down where Keith lives. Yeah.
Now, did your children go to 4-H?
Oh, we went. Russell and I used to go to 4-H. Mrs. Willard Powers had it down the Upper Waterford School, and I remember going down there to it. We each raised a calf, and I think Russell had a garden one year, because I remember he raised some little watermelons. Yeah.
Did you take any animals up to the fair, the Caledonia Fair?
No.
Are you still making maple syrup?
Well, I'm selling it. My grandson does all of the boiling, and we've got it all on pipeline. I think it's around 1,000 taps. But he said he's read why you should leave some, not tap them. So he left 50 or so that he didn't tap this year. I'm going to swap around some. But we put in an osmosis machine, and boy, that tripled the production. And I couldn't see that the syrup tasted any different. It worked like it's altogether different than a separator, but it separates the water from the sweet sweet sap. And we was using about 3-4 gallons of fuel oil to make a gallon of syrup. Now we make a gallon to a gallon of, I think something like that, 4 gallons to a gallon.
It's 40 gallons.
They take, yeah, 40,
Per gallon of syrup.
yeah, 40, 50, yeah. But you've got to have everything stainless steel now, too. Yeah.
Did you ever used to do it with horses? Or?
Oh, yeah, we used to. I remember we had wheels we used when they got bad ground, and I remember going from my sugar house up across to the barn. It was pretty rough. Sometimes you look back and you sap tub and jumped off and it's down the hill a ways. Yeah, we used to trudge around in 3 feet of snow. Bob Paschal lived on the White Village farm. When he stopped farming, he came up and helped us sugar one year. He said, I never got so tired in my life after chasing you around all through the sugar place. He wasn't used to it.
Sugaring's hard work.
Yeah, you helped us get it done.
Help you and help Kenny.
Yeah.
Helping down on my own now. Paul, Amy,
Oh, yeah.
mine there.
Yeah. Down by Earls, right on that corner above Earls House, there's a sugar house right there.
Yeah,
And there's a big maple tree, great big one, you've got 5 or 6 taps on it. But the town dumped a load of sand there with salt in it. Back when if you got stuck, you just got some sand and put under your own wheels. And that load of sand with the salt in it killed that maple tree there. Just like right across the road here, we had a big maple. Every time you went by there, the buckets were running over, 3-4 buckets. And this big elm stood there beside it, as though it's protecting them. Well, Kevin bagged some silage right beside that tree, and the juice from that silage killed that maple tree.
And somewhere I got a picture of down at that sugar house, and I don't know who would have been sugaring, whether it would have been Roberts or who it was, but it was a group picture, and the Bean brothers were in it, and your mother was in it.
Oh, yeah.
Clarence and Mary Young, some of the Barretts.
Oh, yeah.
I think Clinton Barrett was in it.
Probably was when the Kenny was sugaring there. Yeah.
Well, that could have been.
Yeah, Kenny. Yeah.
Because Kenny was there a few years in the late 50s.
Yeah. Yeah, probably was. Then a fellow that worked for Andy Paulson, what was his name? He had brought a dozer up and cleaned the roads out that they had the sawmill there, and he sugared it 1-2 years there. I can't think of his name, but because he helped maintain the equipment at the sawmill, and the guy up Concord, he said he's good at tearing them apart, but you don't know how to put them back together.
Yeah. Anything else you want to tell us about?
Oh, like that. Can't think of too much.
Well, I think I'll just pause it and we can chat, and if we need to, we can start it up again. It's about.
Yeah, this house I've been living in for 60 years. Next couple of months, it's a plank house, 3-inch planks, and when I first come up here, the old clapboards were turned up so there were snake skins under the clapboards. In the lower edge of the clapboard was wore down about as thin as what goes up under the other clapboard.
Just from the weather?
Yeah, just from the weather, yeah.
It was built in 1806.
Yeah.
Why don't you say that into the mic?
Yeah, the house was built in 1806. I think a Freeman actually built this house. Remember the girl I brought up to?
Yeah, I think it says the Freeman house on that map.
It's her family that had it built?
The Freeman family. This house, Charlie Lawrence's house, and Raymond's house were all originally built by the Freeman family.
They always painted the backside of the house red because it's cheapest paint. All the houses, Raymond's house is red on the back. This house is red on the back. Leo's and Clarence's house is all red paint on the back of the houses.
I think Raymond's is still.
Yeah, I think all these.
I think in that real estate ad right now it shows red.
Right. Yeah. I put new clapboards on it, and then I had it insulated here a few years ago, and the guys that insulated thought that some people had money that built this because it's so well made. Yeah.
You know, this center brickwork is amazing. How many fireplaces?
4.
4 fireplaces and
Just a couple.
little oven on the side there.
Yeah, Dutch oven.
Takes up the whole center part of the house.
Yeah.
Brick arches downstairs.
Oh yeah.
Brick.
Oh yeah. 2 brick arches that hold up all these fireplaces.
I
Yeah.
think you've had a chimney fire or two.
Just one.
Just one?
On the fireplace in my bedroom, I blocked it off, but I punched the hole down through so I can put a furnace in. So that one looks like a fireplace, but it isn't. And when I put in this stove, I had put a liner down. It's like a culvert that's flexible, you know, and they insulated it and pulled a sock over it. And so that's separate from I put in a new old furnace because Uncle Sam has kicked in $500 and I kicked in a couple of thousand for insulating the house. And I was surprised to get $200 back on my house insurance after I'd done all these things.
Well, Willard, this has been fascinating and a lot of fun, and we really appreciate your sharing this with us.
Well, thank you.